Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Nʉmʉ Tekwarʉ, the Comanche Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Sarae Sakai. On this week's episode, we have Comanche Nation royalty joining us. So let me introduce you to our newly elected Comanche Nation Princess, Isabella Ramirez, and Comanche Nation Junior Princess, Tatum Burgess. And along with them is our Comanche Nation Princess Director, Fiona Kirchie. Welcome, ladies. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to come and chat with me. So let's just hop right into today's topic. Obviously, the topic is you. So, Isabella, kind of tell us a little bit about yourself.
Moroike, Nanani at Sawakaru, Nese Namana, Nanat Namana Talk Hasnavoy de Satana, Na Piazzat Erica Ramirez, Na Piazzat Jonathan Ramirez, Na Ititzat Stephanie Tejano, Na Tzatzat Amaryllis Frazier, Na Tzatzat Vernon Tejano Jr., Ta Nanaska Tawin. Hello everyone, how are you? My name is Isabella Ramirez. My Comanche name is Wekabu, which means hummingbird. I'm 16 years old, and I am the daughter of Jonathan and Erica Ramirez, the granddaughter of Stephanie Tejano, the great-granddaughter of Amaryllis Frazier and Vernon Tejano Jr., the great-great-granddaughter of the late Marion Casnovoid and Forrest Casnovoid, and the late Patsy Tejano and Vernon Tejano Sr. I am from the Casnovoid and the Tejano families, and from the Yapareka and the Quijada clans, and I am your 2025 to 2026 Comanche Nation Princess.
Wow, that was great. That was amazing. You did so good. Now, Tatum, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Ha Maroe, Nanani Etsa Tatum Burgess, Nanamanani Etsa Onawaipa, Cash Oklahoma Sukaniban. Hello everyone, my name is Tatum Mallory Burgess. I'm Comanche and I'm from Cash. I am the 2025-2026 Comanche Nation Junior Princess. I am the daughter of Kenny Burgess and Tanisha Burgess. I am the granddaughter of Richard Adami and the late Norma Cable Adami of Marietta, Kansas, and Donald and Roberta Burgess and Rebecca Boyoto Burgess. I am the great-granddaughter of the late Vernon and Goya Cable, and the late Earl Sr. Burgess and Daisy Burgess, and the late Melvin Sr. and Nettie Kirchie. I am 16 and currently attend Cash High School, where I do wrestling and play volleyball. Thank you. Ura.
Great. That sounded great. And first off, congratulations to you ladies for being crowned our Comanche Nation Princess and Junior Princess. So let's kind of just give a little backstory on why you both decided to run. Whoever wants to start, kind of just get us a little info.
So this is my third princess title, and I really loved being a princess, being able to go out to powwows, be able to teach about our culture, even in schools, and I just love being able to represent my people, and I've just really put all of my focuses on this princess title because this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and I just want to represent to the best of my abilities.
So you said this is your third title. What are some things that you're going to take from those previous titles and kind of put forth in this title?
So something my other titles have really helped me with is definitely coming out of my shell more. And I've been speaking publicly for a little while now. And it's also helped me be able to bring more people out and help teach more about it, because with these past princess titles, I've met so much more family and I've learned so much more about our history, and I've just really wanted to take this title and use it to teach about our people.
And so what are some things that you do want to teach? What are some topics you want to talk about when you do go and represent us?
So I just want to be able to teach people that us natives, we're still here, because some people, they don't think so because you'll never see us out. And a whole bunch of people haven't opened the horizons to seeing us out. And I want to be able to teach our language, teach our history. And it's really important that we carry on our traditions. And I just want to be able to help teach the kids and bring our elders out more to help teach.
And Tatum, what about you?
What was the question again?
So kind of, why did you decide to run?
So I decided to run because I just wanted to give it a try, because this is only my second title and I just like, being princess. I guess.
So what are your experiences from your previous title that you're going to use for this title? And did you just learn anything from that you're going to take and put forth in this one?
Yes, so it's really helping me with public speaking because I'm kind of shy and I get a little scared to speak in front of everyone. So it's really helping me with like public speaking. And I learn more because a lot of people come up to me and help me out. And it's been helping me, do what I need to do.
Okay. And, kind of with your answers, we're going to jump over to Fiona, and hearing those answers, can you kind of just give us the process of what they had to do to initially run and kind of like the ethics behind it and everything?
They cannot be cohabitating.
Okay.
They have to be
respectful to all elders, to everyone.
That's a big one for sure.
Have firm handshakes.
Yes.
Smile.
Yeah, smile.
These are just little rules that just little stuff. But for the most part, they cannot be cohabitating. They cannot be married. They cannot have children. And those are kind of like a lot of the basics. I know some other tribes, they have a whole other process to go through. We just pretty much accept the applications. They have to be enrolled Comanche. And I think that's pretty much it. I cannot.
Like the basic.
Yeah.
Okay. And obviously everyone knows that you were once a Comanche Nation Princess too. So kind of just tell us a little bit about that.
So I was Comanche Princess in 2007 and 2008. When I was Princess, we actually voted for the princesses at the Comanche Nation Fair. Well, they started that back in, I think, 2007. And then, or it might have been in 2006. And then from there up until a little bit after 2010, we voted at the Comanche Nation Fair. Within the past few years recently, we just moved it back to April, which was where we originally used to vote for Comanche Nation Princess. But yes, I was voted in during Comanche Nation Fair, so we went from September to September. And it was very busy. It wasn't, I felt like we were kind of blended in with the fair, so we didn't really, as Comanche Princess candidates, you didn't get to have a whole day for yourself. It was more rushed, but nonetheless, we still had a great time. My year was 2007, 2008. I was voting at Comanche Nation Fair, and it was just something that I had been putting it off for years. I think 2 or 3 years prior, I kept saying I was going to run. And then I just never did. It was just really a last minute. I turned my application in at 4:59.
Oh my gosh.
To the director of the last day. So it was really a last minute decision. But I do come from a princess family. So I have numerous cousins, aunties that were all Comanche Princess before me. So it was just something that in our family we just kind of wanted to do and just to keep that up. There was a lot of places that I went to, a lot of things that I did do. And one of my goals when I was princess was just to kind of do better than the princess before. And that was just something that I gave to the girls when I met with them was, try to do better than the princess before you. Set that bar higher and higher. And it just gives something for the girl after you to work for. It comes with a lot of, how would you say, there's a lot of incentives. There's a lot of good things that come from this title. It's up to you to make those good memories. It is tough. I've told them before, you're going to get some negative, but no matter what, you keep that smile and you just keep going, hold your head up. But during my reign, I think the furthest I went was Montana.
Wow.
I went up there for the North American Inna Days, and it was really something fun. You meet a lot of people, and it's just, I had a really great time during Expo Week as well, because you were able to connect with all your other tribal princesses in Oklahoma. And till this day, me and them girls are still really close. And so that's what, I was really letting them know, get to know your princess sisters, and you're going to have sisters for a long time coming out. So, but yes, I decided that I wanted to run for director this year. Last year it was kind of handed to me from Jessica T. High. She asked me if I would take it upon myself, and I said I would. So I was really honored that she asked me to do that, to finish out her year for her. And so this year there was more I wanted to do for the princesses, so that's why I re-ran for director this year. And so I just want to be able to, build up our Comanche Princess title again, and let them know that it's not something that's scary. It's something that's fun and can be very helpful to the girls as they grow. It helps them build characters, not characters, character. But yeah, there's just so much more. I feel like this year is just going to go by fast because it went by fast with Blue Sky and Arlene. I feel like
it felt like it went really fast.
It did. I felt like we went from elections to Comanche homecoming to the fair to Christmas. I mean, it's just nonstop going. And I really had a blast with the girls. So I told them, I was like, I like to terrorize y'all, so please get used to it. I like to tease. And so they do. They kind of have a good chuckle, but I'm really excited to see what this year will bring and what more these girls can do. And they've already both been out in the public doing a few things with the elders. So I'm really happy with how they've been carrying themselves so far.
Well, that's great. And so kind of going off of what Fiona just said, do you both kind of want to tell us during your candidacy, maybe some experience that you had, good or bad, that you were able to overcome or accomplish? Kind of just tell us what it was like before you were crowned.
So we honestly didn't have a really long time before. So we didn't have a long time for our candidacy. It was kind of rushed. So I took it upon myself to volunteer all of my spring break at the elderly center. And it was truly amazing being able to meet so many people. And I even met a lot of relatives. I think I met one relative a day while I was volunteering. And I truly made a whole bunch of connections, even with people that I'm not related to. We talked about how they're from Indiahoma, talked about different things like school, how we grew up, and it's truly amazing being able to meet so many people. And like, I ran against Isabella Tadenapa, and we truly grew an amazing bond while we were candidates together. We volunteered 2 days at the elderly center together, and those were probably the best 2 days out of the whole week that I spent volunteering. We truly have an amazing bond. Like, we still talk to this day, and I'm just glad that we were able to run with each other, and I wouldn't want to be able to run against anybody else with her.
And how are the elders? I know it's very important for them when it comes to representation. So kind of just tell me about the interactions with the elders.
So while I was at the elderly center, I had a whole bunch of conversations, and they helped me with the language, definitely. And they talked about how we dressed, because I wore a ribbon skirt every single day I volunteered, and they would always tell me how they like it and how they would change it a little bit. But I'm truly glad that they were there helping me. And I also went to the assisted living center, and I had an ice cream social for them.
Oh,
and
fun.
It was truly amazing being able to talk to them. They talked about their experiences growing up, how going to powwows was so fun for them. And they even talked about how now we have more powwows than there were back in the 90s, 80s. And I'm truly grateful that us as natives, we decided to help more powwows, and it's truly amazing.
And I seen that your eyes got really big when we mentioned the elders. So give us a little story about you two and kind of with the elders.
So my experience with the elders, they're good, and there's like some bad, experiences that I had with elders. But I do the same. I conversate with all of them. I talk to all of them, and I get a lot of compliments from them though. And so I'm really glad that they, you know, are okay with everything I do, I guess, a little bit. So my experience, like with the whole princess, you know, like
Yeah.
I didn't run for it, but I see nobody was running, so I had took the opportunity and I wanted to run. So yeah.
And so if you can just tell us maybe like a day in the life up to, I know because you didn't have to do a candidacy, what were some other things that you did besides going and seeing the elders?
I went to a lot of powwows.
Okay.
And I would just go and shake hands at the drum, and then sometimes shake hands around a little bit if I didn't, you know,
Okay.
have to.
Okay. And this question is kind of for both of you because I'm just interested. What were some of the things that the elders said to kind of prepare you, or not just elders, but just our people out in at the powwows or events and things like that?
So some of them would, if anything was like wrong on my dress, they would come up and they would fix it for us or fix it for me. And they would tell me how to do it and everything. So now that I know next time, so they would just fix a lot of stuff on my dress.
Oh, well, that's
Yes.
good. Okay.
So it was kind of the same for me, like going to powwows. We would have people stop us and they weren't rude at all. They were just being like, hey, we're just going to let you know, like, this is how this goes. And so most of the elders, they were all pretty nice to me. I've always had amazing conversations with them, had good laughs. We would talk about just how much we love going to powwows. We would connect on different things. Like, I think one conversation with an elder, I had passed out little cheese balls as one of my little treats. And we just had a whole conversation about how much we love cheese balls.
Was it Comanches or regular cheese?
And, you know, we just had a whole conversation about that. And it's truly amazing how you can connect with anybody on anything. And I'm just truly grateful that I had time to be able to sit down and talk with our elders.
Well, that's good. That's good. I'm going to jump back to Fiona really quickly. And kind of, if you can, what is the history of Comanche Nation Princess and Junior Princess?
So I had reached out. I am part of the sorority. We have a Comanche Princess sorority. So I did reach out with the Comanche Princess sorority. I'm one of the officers and got with them to, work, have a meeting with them because we know that they're fairly new to the arena, and we wanted just to help them with, kind of some do's and don'ts, because as someone that you've grown up with in the arena from like little bitty, and as I have family that's princess prior to me, we just kind of wanted to guide them and help them in that aspect, because you do get people that just complain about everything, and there's nothing you can do about that. And that's something that we just kind of tell them, just be a duck, let it roll off, and then just kind of take it with a smile. Sadly, you have to just take it with a smile. But that was just something that we did with them. Was we had a meeting with all the families and the candidates, and kind of like a little luncheon get together. We went over some scalp dancing, and just kind of we had different sorority members that were there that told their experiences and, what their rules that they might have grown up with their families, like, sit in your chair, no sleeping, no chewing gum, stuff like that. Just things that we were taught that maybe they didn't know about. So that was some of the things that we had. A few elders. One of our elder princess sorority members was there. We had another elder that was there. We had we had drummers to come sing for us, and even they gave an insight because one of their sisters, or he had a sister that was a princess. So, we had insight. They got insight from the men's side. And then one of our sorority sisters, even told the families, learn to take criticism.
Right.
When someone comes up and tells you, hey, fix this, fix that. So they both have been open, and their families have been open-minded to, take these in, what people have told them, whether it's their dressing or, how they carry themselves, stuff like that. So, that's just some of the things that we had did as a sorority. was that we wanted to help, to let people know that we're here to help them. We're here to guide them. And, we told them, if, don't be by yourself. Always have a chaperone. That's one of the biggest things is no matter where you're at, inside and outside the arena, you are to have a chaperone with you. And that just, because that just opens the door for rumors. And that's something that, we don't want. And so, we just kind of told them if they needed a chaperone, mom and dad's busy, grandma and grandpa, to let one of us know. That was the whole purpose, so that they could see who was part of the sorority, because not a lot of our sorority is active all the time, but they are around, and they probably seen them all over and didn't even realize that they were part of the sorority. So that was just something that we did to kind of help them, get ready for being Princess. We shared stories, good stories, bad stories, and just our experiences all around. And so that was just something that we did on our behalf as a sorority member and as a director to help them, what to expect. Because this is a different ball game than organizational Princess. So, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that you hopped in and said that, because it was
talking,
definitely on my mind.
Yeah,
sometimes I can kind of jump back and forth, but yeah, that was definitely a question I wanted to ask. And how does that make y'all feel, knowing that, even after your reign, you have these amazing women that will have your back and continue to have your back for the rest of your lives, probably?
So I'm truly happy that we have a whole organization by our side. Even with my past titles, because I was the 2024 to 2025 Junior Miss Indian Oklahoma City, I still have people by my side from that society. Like, during the election powwow, I had a huge section, even the new princesses that we crowned in March, they came to come watch me get crowned. Wow. And, I'm just truly happy that with the Comanche Nation Princess sorority, I feel like this is it's a family. It's not just we're a sorority, we're partners. It's a family. And as soon as you're crowned, you're inducted into that family. And I'm truly grateful that we have them here, because they always give us advice, truly sweet, caring ladies. And I'm just truly grateful I have them by my side.
Yes, so it does make me feel a lot better to know that we have people there that are by our sides and to help us through everything, because I did have some ladies come up to me and tell me that they're there and that they're willing to help with anything. So that made me feel a lot better about being Princess for the tribe, and it made me feel a lot better.
Well, that's good, and I'm happy for you guys, because I've seen, the past princesses, and I've known and I've talked to them, and they all feel the same way. So that's super reassuring that y'all feel that way too. And so with that being said, let's kind of jump into the history of the Comanche Nation Princess and Junior Princess, and kind of just, for the people that don't know, I'm not really too sure on it either, and kind of just explain the history.
So our first Comanche Nation Princess was Miss Rachel Martinez. She was Comanche Nation Princess and I could be getting these dates wrong. I should know this, but it was in 1926, 1924 to 1926, somewhere in that time. She was actually the first princess for the American Indian Exposition, which the KCA is the one that kind of started the American Indian Exposition, and that started out in Craterville Park. And so she was our first one, and back then they would just pick them. So
okay.
I believe it was 1926. And she did do an interview a few years back in the late 90s or so. And she stated that her family just came to her. People just came to her and was like, you're going to be a princess, or will you be the princess? They just chose them back then. As it went on, then it kind of evolved more. They added more of the tribes and stuff like that. So early 1900s is when we started our first for our Comanche Nation Princess, and we've been going on since then. I don't know much about maybe the earlier voting, how they used to do that. I'm not sure if they picked them prior to a certain year and just picked them throughout the years and then they voted, because I've asked several of them back in the 50s and they were like, we were voted in, we ran against other girls. As far as the junior princess, that's fairly new for us. That started in the early 2000s. And the first Comanche Nation Junior Princess was Tina Jo Kozad. And she was princess in 2005, I believe, is when she started. And she carried her title through, and it might have been 2006. The dates I'm not sure of. But I know she was junior princess with Isabel Poor Buffalo and with myself toward the beginning of my reign.
Okay.
Shelby Mata was the second Comanche Nation Junior Princess, and she was Comanche Nation Junior Princess throughout the rest of my reign from, I believe it was around July of 2007. And then she carried it, I think, for 2 years. She is, I believe, one of the first ones to carry both the Junior Princess title and the Comanche Nation Princess title.
Cool. Okay.
So at those times, those words were just picked and chosen. And then I believe it might have been in, I want to say around maybe 2009, 2010, when we started voting on the Junior Princess. It could have been later than that. But yeah, that's a fairly new title for us. And it's got its ups and downs. I know some people were worried about it taking the focus off of our Comanche Nation Princess, but it actually has worked in favor for our tribe, as well as helping out the Comanche Princess, only because sometimes she gets really busy and there's a lot of, things. We're bigger as a tribe now.
Oh, yeah.
As we were 10, 15, 20 years ago. So just like Isabella said, there wasn't as many things happening 10, 15, 20 years ago as to where the Comanche Princess, there wasn't all of our departments in the tribe that were having all their events, and so that's their priority, is the Comanche Nation events. And so there's a lot that happen, and the Junior Princess really just comes and helps out where she is needed. If Isabella cannot make, an appearance over here, then they will split and go and make those appearances in those separate areas. For the most part, you'll see them together. And I do include the Junior Princess in a lot of stuff. There are some times when it just is going to be just the Comanche Nation Princess, but that's just, the Junior Princess is something fairly new, and some people want it and some people don't. It's just teach his own,
it's good because she kind of has someone to go and do a lot of these first things with. So
definitely,
and then eventually, being a junior princess, you might eventually want to run for a Comanche Nation Princess. So that kind of gets you prepared for that too. So I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I it is. It's something great. Like last year, Arlene really had to step up a lot to help out Blue Sky. She got hurt, was sick, so that really helped us out with having the representation there.
Absolutely.
So it really does help to have that, and there are some tribes that have a senior princess, a junior princess, the little Miss Princess, all that. That's a lot, but it works for them.
Yeah.
For us, we just have our two, and I think we're good. We're good with that. So they do, I've told them, work together. If there's something over here and something over here, if y'all want to go, y'all can go together. One can go over here, one can go over there, and then y'all swap. That way you both have time in each area. There are times when they're going to have more than 2, 3, 4 events, and they have to make each one of them. And, I've had multiple events like that. And we started from the furthest and worked our way back. So that's just how it worked for us. But, we tell them, however it is, do your best to make those appearances and everything that we have within our Comanche Nation, because those are our priority first.
Okay.
And
so what are you, and I guess Comanche Nation as well, what are your expectations? I know you kind of just went over it just now, but what are some things that are a must for them to show up and represent us for?
Definitely all the department, the program events that they have. we do have a lot of those, like the prevention recovery. They have the Easter egg hunt. Both the girls went there. Anything that's related to Comanche, those are definitely a must. Of course, Comanche Nation Fair. You have the elders dinner, prevention recovery, the New Year's Eve bash. I was trying to think.
That's always a fun one.
That is, they have prevention recovery have a lot.
They're huge. They always have
events
going on.
And so I always just try to keep up with as many events, and I send them. We have a group chat with the parents, and I'll send them flyers and this and that, which is really good with when y'all started the podcast. And I seen that the list of events that PIO has, and I'm like, great, that helps me out. I can just send it to them, because I think a lot of it is the tribal events. But yeah, anything that's priority, anything that has to do with the tribe, if anything is even connected with it, and it doesn't have to have Comanche Nation on it, but if they have an invite, I think one of their invites is the Comanche or the Apache Princess election. They had invites for there. So, anything that has them on there that states they're invited, then they go, and there's multiple places, and they have to go and make those as well. And it gets stressful, but I have faith that they can handle it. Everybody can handle it, so they can handle it, But yeah, those are the main things is, our tribal events. They can go off, do wherever else they want to go. But if there's something that has our events, and that they need to be there to make an appearance.
Absolutely. Okay, ladies and listeners, we're going to take a short break and hear from our PIO director, Jolene Sconchin, about Comanche Nation's upcoming events and meetings. We'll be right back.
Hamadatweka Nʉmʉ. Nessa Jolene Sconchin from the Comanche Nation Public Information Office, and I am ready to tell you about the many events that are happening the first part of May. So get ready to jot these down so you don't miss out. Let's begin with the grand opening and ribbon cutting of a new Comanche business called Classic Carpet and Granite in Lawton, Oklahoma, owned by tribal member Tim Johnson. The grand opening will be at noon at 1302 Southwest Sheridan Road in Lawton. There will be food, raffles, a photo booth, a bounce house for the kids, and dance exhibitions from top native dancers in the area. Everyone is invited to welcome a new Comanche business to our area. On May 3rd, the Comanche Academy Charter School will have its third annual powwow at Fort Sill Indian School in Lawton. The dance begins at 2 o'clock and goes until 10. Also on May 3rd, the Comanche Nation Prevention and Recovery Program will have its annual powwow beginning at 1 p.m. at the Comanche Nation Complex's Watchataker Hall. The next day, May 4th, there will be an honor powwow for the Onakani Child Care Center, which placed first at the Oklahoma Native American Youth Language Fair in both the spoken language category and the traditional song category. It's so wonderful to see our youth Nʉmʉ Tekwarʉ at such a young age. The dance begins at 3 o'clock and it will go until 8 o'clock that evening. May 5th is National Missing and Murdered Indigenous Peoples Day, and our Comanche Nation's MMIP program will have a movie screening at Watchataker Hall of two movies titled Missing from Fire Trail Road and Gift of Fear. Doors open at 5 p.m. and a concession stand will be available. The movies are rated PG-13 due to its content. The Comanche Nation MMIP also reminds everyone to wear red on May 5th in honor of the missing and murdered Indigenous people around the world. Also on May 5th, the Comanche Nation Language Program will have a community language class from 6 p.m. till 8 p.m. at two locations. One will be at the Apache Public Library in Apache, Oklahoma, and the other will be at the Kahoma Building in Cache, Oklahoma. The Comanche Nation Youth Services will have a Cache after-school program for enrolled Comanche tribal students ages 6 through 18 years old at the Cache Kahoma Building. It begins when school is out until 5:30 p.m. on May 5th through May 8th. Contact the Comanche Youth Services for more information. The Indigenous Peoples Day Committee will host a meet and greet for the Comanche candidates from 6 p.m. through 9 p.m. on May 6th at the Elmer Thomas Parks Patriot Pavilion in Lawton. It's a potluck, so bring a dish to share. The Apache tribe is inviting all Native-owned cats and dogs to their free rabies vaccination clinic from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. Wednesday, May 7th at the Apache Tribal Community Center in Anadarko. The address is 616 East Colorado Drive. All pets must be on a leash and at least 12 weeks old. Rabies tags and certificates will be issued for the pets. Pet owners, take your CDIB for verification. The Comanche Nation Court will have its legal aid clinic for Comanche tribal members from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. on May 7th at the tribal court located at the Comanche Nation Complex. Legal counsel will be on site to provide tribal members with legal advice and clarify the tribal court filings. The Comanche Nation Language Program will have a community language class from 6 to 8 p.m. on May the 8th at the James Cox Auditorium, which is located inside the Comanche Nation Education Building in Lawton, Oklahoma. A free showing of Freedom for Leonard Peltier, A Celebration of Justice, will be held 5 p.m. through 9 p.m. Friday, May the 9th, at the Comanche Nation's Watchataker Hall. Dinner will be served. The producer of this is Comanche tribal member Jane Myers, and the keynote speaker of the event is David Hill. The Comanche Little Ponies, the Rapukuna, will have its 55th annual celebration May 9th and May 10th at the Comanche County Fairgrounds Expo Center in Lawton, Oklahoma. The event is extended for 2 days. The event begins May 9th at noon with the cedar ceremony, followed by gourd dance. New members will be initiated at 3 o'clock, and contests will begin after supper break. On May 10th, the powwow begins at noon with gourd dance, and the coronation of the new Comanche Little Ponies Princess, Arlene Sconchen, will be at 2 o'clock. Grand entry will be at 6 o'clock, followed by contests. There are several contests on both days. The powwow will be live streamed by Lone TP Productions. The Comanche Little Ponies invites everyone to their celebration powwow Mother's Day weekend. Also on May 10th, Ecasia presents a Bigfoot event from 4 p.m. through 8 p.m. at the Tatanapper Monotachie property located at 12235 Northwest 4 Mile Road. There will be a Bigfoot hollering contest among other activities. A concession stand will be available and vendors are welcome. Bring your own chairs. The Oklahoma City Outreach Office will host a health and wellness fair from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. May 13th at their office located at 8014 Northwestern Avenue in Oklahoma City. Many tribal programs will be available, including the diabetes awareness, IHS public health nurse, optometry, and prescription assistance, to name a few. So take note, Comanche tribal members in the Oklahoma City area. The Comanche Youth Services will have an Elgin after-school program for enrolled Comanche students ages 6 through 18 on May 12th through May 15th at the Comanche Nation Complex's Watchataker Hall. It begins when school is out until 5:30 p.m. Contact the Comanche Youth Services for more information. Comanche tribal members will go to the voting polls on May 16th and May 17th to vote for candidates in the 2025 Comanche Nation election. Early voting will be 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. on May the 16th at the Comanche Nation Complex's Kotaka Room and the Comanche Nation Education Center in Lawton. Day 2 of the voting will be 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. May 17th at the Comanche Nation polling sites, which are the Comanche Nation Complex, the Comanche Nation Outreach Office in Oklahoma City, the Comanche Nation Community Center in Apache, the Comanche Nation Outreach Office in Anadarko, the Kahoma Building in Cache, and the Comanche Nation Community Center in Walters. Remember to bring a valid ID or CDIB and exercise your right to vote. Also remember, absentee voting ballots must be received by mail by May 17th. Looking ahead, the Comanche Nation Tribal Court will have a Wills Clinic 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on May 16th at the Tribal Court located at the Comanche Nation Complex campus. The Comanche Nation and Caddo Nation have teamed up to present a Wildlife Explorers Environmental Camp 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. June 3rd through June 5th for ages 9 through 14 years old. The deadline to register is May 16th. For more information, contact the Comanche Nation Office of Environmental Programs. The class of 2025 will be honored by the Comanche Nation Higher Education Program from 5 p.m. through 8 p.m. on June 7th at the McClaslin Ballroom at Cameron University. The program is asking graduates to submit a photo with their name, school, and graduation information by May 23rd. Contact the Comanche Nation Higher Education for more information. Wow, there is a lot happening in Comanche country. You can find this information and more at the Comanche Nation website, ComancheNation.com, and on Facebook at the Comanche Nation of Oklahoma and the Comanche Nation News Facebook pages. Be sure to take the opportunity to attend the many events happening in Comanche country. Sa Napia Atabani, have a happy Mother's Day. Reporting for the Comanche Nation PIO News, Nase Jolene Sconchen. Ura.
All right, everybody, welcome back. We're kind of going to jump right back into the conversation we had before the break, but it's for the ladies. So kind of tell us what your plans are during your reign. Like, what are you excited for? What do you expect?
So for my plans, I definitely want to put a spotlight on our elders because while a whole bunch of princesses want to talk about our children, like, it's important that our children continue on our traditions, but it's our elders that teach it. And they don't get enough recognition for that. Mm-hmm. Like, even our day-to-day stuff, we've learned from our elders, and they don't get enough appreciation. And I just want to be able to have them just feeling good. Like, they've been through rough times, and I just want them to be able to live a happy life and just get the recognition they deserve.
Okay. What about you, Tatum?
Yeah, so mine is actually youth. I want to encourage all the youth to come out and dance. So when they see me out there, I want them to come out there and, dance, learn about their ways and their culture and everything else like that.
I like that. I like to watch the dances too. Do y'all have a favorite dance, by the way?
Yes, I love to horse trot. That's my favorite.
And can you kind of explain that dance a little bit?
So I don't know how to explain it. Really.
Yeah, she's about to just do it.
I can do it, but I don't know. I think people do it. Is it a crow hop and a horse trot? I think those are different.
Yeah, they're different.
Okay. Different. I think there's a northern crow hop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then,
So basically just kind of just like a trot, like an actual trot? Okay.
Yeah, everybody does it. Everybody does it different, yeah.
Okay. So you kind of just put your own little twist on it.
Yeah.
What about you?
Ooh, I don't know. Really gotta think about that.
It's okay if you don't have a specific or favorite one. And so, talking about powwows, obviously for the people who are just listening, they can't see that you're in your full regalia right now. And this is my favorite part. It must be the girl in me, but kind of talk about the production part and kind of the inspiration in your regalia.
So right here on our sleeves, this, so when it's closed, it's for the younger girls that aren't, a full adult woman.
Okay.
So whenever it's closed, it's for young girls. But whenever it's open, it's for when, moms breastfeed their babies. So it's easier, to breastfeed them.
How cool. I didn't know that.
And then it's also, on the sleeve length. So if it's longer, it's more for the women because to cover their children while they breastfeed. But younger girls, me and Tatum's age. They'll have it closer to the elbow, shorter, because we don't really need that niche to cover. So.
Okay. And who if anyone, helped make your regalia, or where did you get some of your pieces from?
My mom and dad helped me make all my regalia. My mom makes all my dresses. My dad, he just made this belt last night, actually.
Oh, cool.
Yes. And my medallions, I got them made. And then my leggings were done by Eleanor. Yes.
Okay. Oh, and they're beautiful.
Yes.
They
They're
are
not done yet, but yes.
So all of my dresses are mainly made by my grandma, and I've gotten into sewing. I sew a little bit here and there, but it's mainly her that makes everything. And like, I make most of my jewelry. Like the beads I'm wearing right now, they were really last minute. I made them like the day of a bow wow.
Oh, wow.
So it was just something quick. And then the belt I'm wearing was actually my grandma's when she was younger and used to dance. And like my pouches, they were gifted to me from my uncle. And it's really just my whole family, we all work together to find stuff. Like my leggings, my grandma made. She's my main person that makes my stuff. So
that's cool. And I'm going to ask a question, and if y'all don't know the specific answer, Fiona can chime in. What does like every piece mean? Is there a meaning, if any, for the pieces that they wear? Kind of tell us about it then.
So like so from my grandma's taught me.
Okay.
When I ran for princess, all three of my kakus, they told me I had to make it all myself. So I had to learn.
Okay.
And so how I make is how they taught us. But there is like our pouches each have a reason. They were all used for something. They all have names. Everything has names. That's a whole nother segment though. We'd have to have a whole nother thing. But yes, as Comanches, we're just really plain. Both the girls, you see that they just have like just regular bead necklaces. Because we were nomadic people. We moved a lot. We were hunters. So, we are very just plain and simple. Our pouches are usually hung up in the front. We have our knife, our awl, and then our medicine pouch. We have our bakawino, which is your drag. And, it can be used to like, sharpen your knives or to carry like your wood, stuff like that. It's just, basic everyday needs, so yeah, I mean, that pretty much sums it up for like the basics, how you decorate it. I would just say it's up to you, yourself. I always keep mine. I'm plain. I get tired of making, I'm, making stuff.
Yeah.
I make stuff all the time. So it's just always very plain with my stuff. I'm just a plain Jane person. But yeah, like that's just a pretty much basic, what they're used for. And so, yeah, our dresses though, we do have the salvi on the side, it's the little tab.
This thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it was just mainly used for like, if you had to get on a horse, it gave you that extra length, the extra width. Also when you have to walk, it gives you that width as well. But like, that's pretty much all I know. I can probably go more into depth, but we need another segment on that one.
We'll get back to that one later.
Yeah, that'd be a good one to go over our regalias for like both the men and women. But yeah, we're just very plain person. But I like how they explain their dresses. They did really good.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you girls.
Are there specific colors or patterns or things they have to wear to certain events or anything like that?
No.
They can kind of just choose whatever they want.
Yeah, I know. Like with the ribbon skirts, like Isabella said that, she wore ribbon skirts at the elderly center, and it's more of a fashion statement now. It does come from up north, but a lot of people have incorporated as, everyday wear. It's I guess like something to just a more of a fashion statement. There are meanings to it, and we wear those down here. We're as respectful as you can about that. And I know like last year I had the girls had asked about that. I know some people were against it, and I'm like, if that's what you feel is more appropriate, and it is a dress, you know what I mean? So I'm all for them. I have a couple of them. I don't wear them every day. They're expensive. I can make them. I just don't want to. I don't.
How much do they usually go for, like pieces? I'm just curious, like pricing.
Usually they start around 100. It just depends.
Okay.
It depends on who's making it, how fancy their sewing skills are, and how many ribbons, and material just is expensive nowadays. And I helped try to get them and that was another reason why I wanted to run for director, was so that I could try to help them get a bigger stipend. We do give them a stipend, and I, did put that on the ballot for this year. So I just hope our people do vote yes for it, so that they can have, inflation is real. And it costs to get their regalia. And, as families, that coming in, having princesses, they have to have new dresses all the time. I think I had a new dress every weekend.
Oh,
I had 2 new dresses. Yeah. My mom would get mad at me because I would wait until that morning, that night for her. And she'd be like, Fiona, you had all week. And I'm like, I know, but I can do it, So sewing, it's therapeutic, but it is expensive. The material is not cheap. And, that kind of brings up another subject of them like serving, during supper. And that was one thing I did tell them, no, I do not want to see them serving supper, only because that is expensive. And that was another thing I had spoke with my sorority about was, I want to get their feedback. And they all said the same thing, it costs. And if you spill soup or anything on your regalia, that's money, and we don't mean no disrespect of not serving the people. But I told them, I said, you try to figure out another way to serve your people else, another way other than with the supper, because no one's going to replace that if soup or food or anything gets spilled on their banners, on their dresses, on their leggings or anything like that. So it's just something that and they were asked, to sell or to serve supper at a powwow.
Really?
Yeah. I watched them. We was like, what are they doing? What are they, pretty soon they both came back and was like, we don't serve supper. I was like, no, I do not want you to serve supper because I don't want your stuff to get ruined. And they don't have that much time to change and eat supper themselves. So we always tell them, eat when you can, and you see some of the girls though that do, that are serving, or that even if they're just eating, they have, what are those called? Aprons. So yeah, that's, something else that you see them now wearing those when they do eat, which is good because I didn't think of that. I would be trying to bend way over and try to eat. But yeah, that was just something that had been brought up too, was them serving supper. And, a lot of people had agreed, no, we don't
do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, she mentioned that, that was something that y'all went to at a powwow. What are some events that y'all have been to already, during your reign?
We went to an Easter egg hunt.
How was that?
Last week. It was fun. I really liked it. It was fun I think it was fun for the children. I Easter egg hunted myself.
You did?
Yeah. Yeah, and I got 2 tickets.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yes.
How was the experience for you?
So I really had fun. I didn't Easter egg hunt like potato, but I was going around. I was passing out suckers. I had a whole bunch of leftover suckers for my campaign because that was something I handed out, and I still have suckers. Even with how many kids are there, I still have suckers. So their parents kept telling them only grab one, but we really needed them gone.
So just giving them out, yeah.
So yeah, the first day after we had gotten crowned, we both had actually gone to the Lawton Public Schools powwow.
Okay.
And that was also a pretty good event. It was really nice being able to help honor all of the Lawton Public School students, the past students, and I've really had fun going places with Tatum, and it's really nice being able to have somebody there with me and just having a dance partner and stuff like that.
Yes, I really like going with her too because me and her we used to go to the same school, but then I moved to Cash, so we were
okay.
friends way before this.
Oh, well, that's good that you have a friend right there with you. That's
Yes.
cool. Or do you have any upcoming events that you're excited for?
Well, it's not. Well, the thing May 2nd. Are we gonna? Yeah, I think we're gonna go to that. I don't know.
The grand opening,
Yeah, the
is that
grand
what you
opening,
mentioned?
Yeah.
So, going to the grand opening, what are you going to be doing? Like, do you just go and introduce yourself? Like, kind of what's the routine?
I think we'd probably introduce ourselves and then go and shake hands and introduce ourselves to everyone.
Okay. And is that kind of like what you expect from them too? Like, you kind of
Yeah.
prepare them?
Yeah, it's just them supporting the, our tribal members. And that is their way of supporting. I believe it is a tribal member that is opening up a new business. So that's just something I, tell them wherever you want to go, as long as you're supporting and you're representing us, that's what you're here to do, So yeah, let's shake hands. If they ask you to do Lord's Prayer, then do that, That was the one thing. They were both kind of nervous about the Lord's Prayer before after they, got voted in. And I told them, I was like, you have this and this coming up. So be sure you got the Lord's Prayer, down pat. Like, okay. So, that's one thing that, we told them that they all needed to know was the Lord's Prayer, because they do get asked at a lot of events to come and do that. So, they're actually going to be very busy. There's just a lot of stuff coming up, and one thing good though, with them going to Cache, Indiahoma, they have a high population of Native students.
Right.
And so they do, understand, like Native American Month in November, that they're going to be busy, or that carrying these titles that they're very busy. And so, like I explained to them, I can give them excusal notes for school if needed. But Cache and Indiahoma they work really well with their Native students.
Okay. That's good.
We kind of had a little issue with Elgin, but the chairman really helped us out in that part with being able to help like Arlene and Blue Sky get excused, because they do miss a lot of school. And so, I told them, keep your grades up, which these two are really good in school. They do have good grades, but school's almost over, so it won't be so stressful come the end of May. We'll have 3 months and they can go wherever, however many events they want to do in a day or whatever. But yeah, it's go process.
Just constantly going. And obviously our fair is coming up. Do y'all have plans already? Are y'all prepared for that?
Yes, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for the fair.
Are you excited for the float process? Like, what are you most excited for?
I think I'm just excited for being there.
Yeah.
And the parade and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Just being in it.
I know. Comanche Nation Fair is for sure one of my favorite powwows. It's truly amazing, like, seeing all of our people come together, get ready, and just the whole process, because, like, even a month before Comanche Nation Fair, you see people preparing for it. And it's a whole process.
Yes.
And I'm just really excited for, like, because we're Comanche princesses now, so we'll be able to help represent that. And most people never really get the chance to represent their tribe like that. And I'm truly excited that we can represent our Comanche Nation Fair. And it's going to be really fun.
Plus, they have the Shoshone reunion connected with it. So,
that's right.
We only do that, I think, like every 4 years, 4 or 5 years, we host them. So they get to host them this year. So they're gonna be busy.
That's gonna be a huge thing too, for sure.
Thing. So yeah, so last year, a few years ago, the princesses, the Comanche princesses and their families would host a luncheon or a dinner for all the other organizational princesses and the tribal princesses. So last year, I took that as a director. I took that upon myself to kind of take that from the princess families and not let them worry about that. And do that for them. So last year, I hosted it for them on behalf of our princesses so that they didn't have to worry about it. We got little bags for the girls, and Isabella was one of the girls that came to the dinner. So, and that usually happens on, I think we did that on Saturday. And it's just during supper break, we get shuttles. I worked with the shuttle, whoever's in charge of shuttles during the fair, and we'd meet them at the flagpole, pick up the princesses, and take them up to the conference room and let them. That's their time to relax. Because, like I said before, the princesses hardly ever get to just relax and just eat and just kind of sit down and have fun. So that's just a time where they do get to visit with each other and hang out and just laugh. And I mean, they had a nice, good old time last year. I think we had maybe 15 to 20 princesses all together. And so, I asked Blue Sky and Arlene, what do y'all want to eat? And they're like, oh, we don't want nothing too heavy. And, we want something filling. So last year we had, brisket and pulled pork sandwiches, chips, and then we had a veggie tray and fruit tray. And, I think we had cake too, but they were in there for a good, maybe hour, 2 hours just to hang out with each other and laugh. And we gave them some little goodie bags, which had like hairspray, mousse, rubber bands, your necessities to be a princess. Yes. So I have that in the plan process. We just haven't discussed yet what they want to eat yet. So that's something.
Be thinking about that.
Yeah. I think in the past, Mackenzie, I think they did a taco bar.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Michelle and her family did, but Mackenzie had a taco bar the year before. So last year we did barbecue. So might have Chinese. Just kidding.
That sounds delicious. Like right now, because it's lunchtime. I'm like, that sounds so good. Okay, well, I mean, that's kind of all the questions I had. Is there anything else that y'all want to add before we wrap it up?
No. If anybody needs anything if they want them to come out, our information, I think we're going to update the page.
Okay.
You can put
I'll do that.
My information on there. So they do have a page on the Comanche Nation website.
Correct.
It'll have their picture and their kind of little biography, their little write-up about themselves. And then it'll have my information on there so that if y'all need to get a hold of them, have them make appearances at events, you can contact myself. You can contact them as well.
Okay, yeah, and we'll put the link to the Comanche Nation webpage for them on this podcast as well. So if anyone listening wants them to come, you can definitely click that link and get with Fiona. But thank you, ladies, so much for joining me today. I had so much fun talking to you, and good luck on your reign. And thanks, Fiona, for joining as well.
Thank you for asking us to come.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. All right, everyone. We will talk to you guys soon. Bye.